All right, welcome back everybody to Corsace Open 2023 round robin stage, where we have GODFIELD Gaming up against OWC France B, Seed 13 up against Seed 20. Two, national teams. You have a Japanese heavy roster and a France roster. I am Vordy, and casting alongside me is Knots. How you doing, man?
Well, an excellent morning. I'm ready to get into this game. It's OWC Japan against OWC France B. Apparently, I think Musty isn't really France B. He's kind of France A. But
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think you kind of have to favor the Japanese in the matchup, not just because of team name stuff, but simply due to how stacked the Japanese roster is. I mean, just kind of Tichy and Varvalian alone is pretty beastly, and then you have some pretty great backup in Rollpen, Yama Darkness, Outerline. Rikuma is also kind of perhaps a new face to some people, perhaps not to certain others. It's kind of been around in the tournament scene for a while, but first time I'm seeing him on one of these GODFIELD Gaming rosters. Been kind of a staple of Corsace for a couple of iterations.
Yeah, and on the side of OWC France B, we do have a lot of really solid French OWC players, namely Musty being the top seeder for their team in qualifiers. Probably will play almost every map, if not every map. You also have a stacked roster with, B-Prod, Charlie, FA, Toter, Potato, and Araki. I think they have a few really defined strengths that they can look for in this matchup. It's going to get a little bit scary as we get deeper, where they might run out of really solid picks before their opponents do. I think to note with GODFIELD Gaming is they seeded 13th, which is really solid, but they didn't have Tichy, which is also Pop Art Town. They didn't have that player, and that's one of their best players, if not maybe the best player along with Varvalian. And but that's going to make their qualifier score appear not as strong as it theoretically should be. And they do ban Hard Rock 2, which, considering OWC France B's performance in Hard Rock 2 in qualifiers, they played very, very well, getting the 9th overall score in Hard Rock 2. They also had a really good No Mod 2 score, but I think the GODFIELD Gaming team probably more willing to have No Mod 2 go through than Hard Rock 2.
Yeah, and Hidden 2 ban from France B is kind of funny, actually, seeing France ban Hidden 2. It doesn't seem like something they should be doing, generally. But,
yeah, no, that's surprising.
I feel like even just looking at the qualifier results, it doesn't really... I don't know if it plays well in my mind. Like, this should just probably be left open. I think there's got to be some better ban to go for here.
I would have definitely expected a DT2 or Free Mod 1 ban, considering the tapping lineup I think is very strong on GODFIELD Gaming, and DT2 was one of the biggest score differences in qualies. Obviously, different DT2s between qualies and the one here, but it's still pretty applicable skill sets. So, surprised to see the Hidden 2 get banned. It's definitely a very challenging Hidden 2, but I still think there was a opportunity for France to breakpoint if Japan happened to pick it. So, surprised to see that be banned out, but it's going into their first pick, and I think one pick they have, which is really, really strong, we saw this in the last match they played, was Free Mod 2, but they don't go for that. They instead go for DT1, one of the most comfortable maps in the pool. Probably something they're looking to just play to their strengths and hope they outperform their opponent, who can likely also play it.
Yeah, I think relying on... I don't know, you're picking one of the easier maps in the pool because I think it's not unfair to say that GODFIELD Gaming is a higher skill cap. The harder maps in the pool, they're more likely to perform better on. Just picking into something that is maybe 3-way, 4-way, or lose might not be the worst idea, but I don't know. That's kind of how people think about it a lot of the time, but increasingly I'm beginning to think maybe that's a mistaken view of things, because it just doesn't seem to work out very often. if your team doesn't have that level of consistency to actually do that every single time, I think that the higher skill team is just gonna, by nature of the higher skill cap, be that bit more consistent and just win anyways. But maybe OWC France B has that. Maybe they have the X factor on very basic DT1 consistency. I mean, it's satellite maps, the same song again. So
yeah, I mean, they did play this in their last match, and it went really well for them. Got a team score of 3.6 million. They can clearly play this map. I think it's just going to be that nerve factor. It's always scary to pick a map you know your opponent can play, and potentially they have a higher skill cap, but you just have to trust that you have the consistency for it, and you know you can FC, and just hope it happens in the match. Yeah, as you said, Senya, Satellite, very, very comfortable. Probably the most comfortable map in the pool. I expect that GODFIELD Gaming will be able to field a very comfy format for this. I actually think, I might be wrong, this is just from memory, Varvalian might have the rank 1 score on the actual Senya, like the ranked version of the map, or maybe the second, because I think it might have been 3 modded now, but he did have an SS on it for the longest time that I think was rank 1, so definitely Varvalian's going to be very happy to see this map being picked.
it was indeed. It was 3 modded 10 months ago by Emperor Penguin.
I think Emperor and Penguin.
Yeah.
Another Japanese goated player.
Emperor Penguin truly is an enigma. I don't. It's a strange man.
Getting into it, we have Yama Darkness, Pop Art Town, who you also may know as Tichi, Rakumia, and Varvalian. Now, Yama Darkness did stop playing and exited, I believe. This might be an abort. Not exactly sure what happened there. Have to wait to see. Looked like they might have had some issue and couldn't start off the map properly.
Yeah, okay.
Looks like that is
There
an
we go.
abort.
Or no? Or panicking?
Yeah. This seems like a abort situation.
Well, if there's no abort, this is basically a guaranteed loss for GODFIELD Gaming. You kind of need the 4th score.
Especially with a drop from Varvalian. It looks like there's the abort. I think, yeah. I haven't checked exactly, but I assume there's probably 1 free abort per team per match, like early on.
I think if it's something
like
that happens in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, if it happens very early on.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a limit on that. As long as it happens in the first 30 seconds, I believe that you can be granted an abort.
I think generally there's a limit of 1 of those happening. I mean, it very, very rarely happens twice in a match by the same team, so doubt to see that happen again. Especially first map, it's the most common. Maybe there's something in your setup, in your keyboard, on your tablet that just wasn't working, and especially for maps this close, you can't really afford to miss the first few notes to some technical error, so we just have to call the abort. I assume we'll get back into it right away, though. Not sure if it's going to be a situation where player might have to be subbed out, or maybe they'll fix their setup in time. I'm not sure what the time limit is on readying up for picks, but I imagine we're approaching that point.
I'd hope so. I think it's just 90 seconds. Something along those lines.
Probably like 90 seconds to 2 minutes, yeah. Feels like it's already hit that point. Oh, I think we're into it once again. It will be the same players, both teams. So once again, Yama Darkness, Pop Art Town, Rikumiya, and Varvalian for Team Godfield Gaming, and Toter, Potate, I think so, VA, B-Prod, and Araki for OWC France B. I think probably one of the few maps you won't see Musty on. I'm still surprised. I think this is something Musty could definitely play, but potentially not super warm, and trust that his team is more than capable. He did not play it last time either, so yeah, makes sense. Varvalian, the first one to drop. I think Varvalian also broke early in that first run that ended up being aborted, so surprised to see, actually.
Well, not quite as active a player as he once was, so might be a little bit of rust.
Yeah, for sure. And Toter does drop as well. Now, I think on accuracy, France is looking way more comfortable. I mean, everybody above 99%, some hitting 99.8. Meanwhile, on Team Godfield Gaming, 97, 98, 98. It's Varvalian with the highest act, but also the lowest combo. But Toter keeps dropping, which will keep it even. It's combo versus accuracy right now. Score lead is going to be pretty much stagnant until one other person breaks. But it should slowly, very slowly flicker to Team Godfield Gaming just due to Varvalian's combo recovery. And Rikumiya.
Rikumiya is a pretty big break. This actually B-Prod goes as well. I think. No, never mind. I was about to say that OWC France B is increasingly just kind of looking out of luck on this pick, but Yama Darkness breaking is going to still kind of keep this within reach. I think they kind of want to see another break though.
Yeah, I think at some point earlier Araki broke, might have missed it, but now it's still advantage combo to Godfield Gaming. It's Pop Art Town versus FIA on the FCs. Varvalian's recovery is stronger than Toter's right now. But there's still enough time, and the score lead is so small that any miss from the Varvalian or Pop Art Town would make the difference. It would have to happen soon. FIA breaks, that's the FC from France gone, so now it's pretty much done. And Pop Art Town FC this map should be able to. Kumiya finding a couple breaks in the outro, so does Yama Darkness, but it does not matter. And, I mean, shoutouts to Varvalian accuracy. I think I did mention that Varvalian had the SS on the ranked map set. And getting very close. 1/100, 2 miscount, AC player. And Pop Art Town off course with the FC.
Some things really do never rust or change. Varvalian always with the very high accuracy. I guess, as a pick, not the worst stuff from OWC France B. Wouldn't have taken that much for it to start going over in their direction, actually, but still, I'm not sure. I kind of feel like you have to go for some funny moves against I guess a team like this where there's, I would argue, a pretty big skill differential, and go for gimmickier stuff, especially just given the players. That's why I really dislike the hidden 2 ban. I think Fie, someone I've been seeing from recently in tournaments, Musty, just broadly quite good at low AR and stuff like that, and hidden. I don't know. I feel like that's the play, you know, not DT1, like just mechanics but easy.
I mean, to be fair with the DT1, just judging from accuracies, especially early into that pick and towards the middle, I think France did have a comfort buff. And had they gotten the same scoreline they did in their last match, they would have actually won that pick. So maybe not a bad pick, just didn't really pan out. Maybe underperformed a bit more than they expected. But GODFIELD Gaming is going to respond by picking Nomad for the tech map. And a little bit surprised to see Nomad 4 instead of something a bit more that would be a bit more convincing like DT2.
I think they could literally pick Nomad 1. You know, like I think GODFIELD Gaming should just pick conventional stuff where there's a big score differential, especially on like some of the qualifier stuff. Picking tech is not like the worst idea in the world, given the lineup that GODFIELD Gaming will have. But it's still kind of playing into the hands of OWC France B, because they'll be able to put up a decent roster on this and actually should be able to be competitive on this.
Yeah, it is surprising to me. I mean, in qualities, there wasn't a dedicated Nomad 4 tech slot, but you did have the hidden one, which was a tech map with hidden. And that's one of the maps where OWC France B did outperform GODFIELD Gaming. So surprised to see this instead of something a little bit more convincing, especially since you just won a breakpoint. I think you're really aiming to consolidate that. But if they do feel very confident on the Nomad 4, obviously being a little bit different to anything that was in qualies, then this will be considered a good pick. Actually, I think one thing to note is France did play this Nomad 4 in their earlier match, and they didn't have too great of a time getting between 300 to 490k score lines.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, 1.6 million team scores. So maybe they're just picking this based on that performance.
In that case, I think the pick makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah.
Because, Varvalian, Tichi, Autoline. I'm actually a little bit surprised to see Rikuima in instead of Rollpan. Rollpan would typically be who I'd expect to be the 4th on this, but pretty solid lineup nonetheless. And I don't know, my conception of Rikuima is largely as, I guess, a mechanics guy. That's what I've seen from him. Kind of Nomad 1 Amy, which might not be the worst idea on something like this. It might be very slider heavy, but nonetheless quite Amy as well. So
I think a lot of tech maps do tend to feel like a pretty big test of mechanics. So with some extra slider ticks thrown in the mix, we have Pop Art Town breaking, so does Iraqi, Musty dropping. I think that was what you would expect to be the biggest combo on the side of France. And now everybody on France has dropped. FA dropped, Bpod dropped earlier. Now it's 3 FCs being contested by no one. And never mind, 1 FC now, Varvalian and Adelaide.
It figures that the person cheesing the slider ticks is the one comboing. I guess I know why Rikuima is in for this. He was prepared.
No.
Unfortunately does break, but
100% maps like these, just aim the slider tick. No need to do anything more, but everybody's broken. It's actually, I was gonna say it's favorite to France. The B-Prod with that 300 combo is gone now. It's still anybody's game. I think it's S ranks from almost everybody apart from Rikuima. From Meraki, it's Fie with 300 combos, the biggest on the board right now, but Japan with, GODFIELD Gaming with everybody above 200, and it's going to start swinging towards them, especially if a few people can hold for a little bit longer.
Oh. Wait, that's pretty bad. That's combo lead on the side of OWC France B.
Yep. Can they hold on though? Musty breaks on the tick, I think. But FIA is still holding on. It's being matched by Pop R Town right now, but I think it's still going to be slight advantage to France if FIA can hold.
Okay, it is all FIA. Such an opportunity to steal this away.
Breaks from the supporting players. Pop Art Town is just holding off this combo from FIA. The scoreline is still slightly shifting towards Japan.
If FIA would get any backup, like just a little bit.
Anybody? Still 80k. I don't think there's enough time. I think Pop Art Town missing right at the end.
God, yeah, just a little bit earlier, and there could have been
wow.
something, but
Yeah, props to
yeah,
FIA.
very
with,
well. Yeah, very well played by FIA, especially towards the end. They're comboing the entire second half. Almost 700k.
GODFIELD Gaming just having a more consistent team score.
Yeah. Especially that second half. I feel like the rest of OWC France B, they were still putting together something in the first half, whereas the second half, there seemed to be a lot of breaks, especially from B-Prod. Kind of anchoring, dragging that score from FIA down, unfortunately. Still, you know, not a big score difference. Very much within reach.
Yeah, I mean, that was still a win for GODFIELD Gaming, but it was so close. I don't want to say it was a super convincing pick. I still think they had a good idea, picking into something that France didn't have a really great time on. But with tech maps, especially when a lot of those scores were either 1 misses or S ranks, you just never know. Maybe just have a low roll and in a different play, you can get a much higher roll, which we did see from FIA. So almost ended up being the breakpoint, but not quite. It's going to be France's second pick now. And I still think at some point in this match they should play Free Mod 2. For how challenging the map is, I think their score on it was very, very solid. I think it requires a good mix of you want a comfortable hard rock player, but also some good reading players with that type of map, and I think France has that. Honestly, based on the performance on Free Mod 2, it makes me all the more surprised about the Hidden 2 ban. They go for Free Mod 1.
Okay. I don't know what to think of this. Did they do well? I think they did well on this actually.
Yeah, they got like
they did pretty alright.
Over 3 million team score, so they can definitely play this for sure.
And I mean, I don't really think that this Japanese team is some super tapping team necessarily either. So this might actually be a pretty solid pick. I'm not entirely sure. Like,
yeah,
you'd have Roll Panvar Valley and Tichy on GODFIELD, but then I'm not entirely sure who goes fourth to fill it out, and if they will have a full comfortable tapping roster for this. I suppose
it's
we'll see.
hard to judge because the No Mod 3 was the speed map in quals, and between both teams they had very similar performances on that map, but that was quite considerably harder than this Free Mod 1. And I think on this lower star rating, I feel like this GODFIELD Gaming roster will be very comfortable, at least on 3 players, and will probably have a fine fourth. Now, we obviously know that France can play this considering the last time they played this in match, but this might be another instance of DT1 where this is something both teams can play, but France is betting on themselves that they'll have the better run.
Yeah. I'd say the Nomad 3 in quals also had a lot of like flow aim heavy on single tap strain as well, so it's a bit of a different vibe to the very focused break core bursts of a Fergus map like this.
I think this is a custom song, right? I think this is the custom song for the pool.
We didn't get to see it in one of the earlier matches we commentated, but gonna be seen here.
does sound like it was handcrafted for a speed map. Thing to note with the AR being 9.3, for the hidden player, it is actually pretty rough on reading. Now, with that miss from Rukuyama, that is going to be advantage France, who are still holding, but that miss from Reprod is going to even it out. Now it's pretty even. Both Hard Rock FCs are still holding Toter with higher accuracy, but Pop Art Town has the hidden mod advantage, so it's pretty much dead even. More than halfway through, and it's still just slight advantage to Japan, but for GODFIELD Gaming. Actually, wait, was that Miss Bancho? Oh, it was. So actually, never mind. Nobody missed on GODFIELD Gaming.
Wait, wasn't it like, when did that combo come back? That's, I don't
I have no idea, but now they actually missed. Okay.
I feel like that combo was wrong for a very long time. That's real though. Pretty convinced by that one. Prove me wrong. I was actually about to say earlier, I've been worried about Roll Pants combo this entire time. It's so unstable. Yeah. It finally does go.
So now it's 2 FCs to, I was gonna say 2 close to FCs in a big combo, but now it's still advantage GODFIELD Gaming. Varvalion does break though, but I just don't know if there's enough time. Combo advantage is on the side of France B, but yeah.
Yeah, it just gets closer.
Oh,
does get closer.
I think if the map was maybe like 30 seconds longer, that would have flickered, but once again, a pretty close win. Nice hidden Hard Rock FC from Pop Art Town. And really solid, I think that's a hidden almost FC from FIE. Lots of S ranks on that map. I think it's kind of rough for France B right now because they're currently down 0-3, but a lot of these picks have been very, very close. So it's a little bit rough to be losing in this manner when Nomad 4 was super close. Fremod 1 was, one miss away from going the other way. DT1 maybe a bit of an underperformance. So France B putting up a good fight right now, but it's just unfortunately not landed on their side of the fence a single time.
And GODFIELD Gaming with plenty of options. I think quite a couple of maps you could conceive of them going for. DT2 springs to mind though. First, I coming off the back of Fremod 1, not a huge win by any means, but going off qualifier results and everything, I think probably pretty solid thing to go into. And otherwise, maybe an HR1 or something would be pretty good.
Yeah,
That's
I think HR1
kind of going off
pick.
of looking at the GODFIELD Gaming roster rather than prior results. I just think I'll have to have a pretty strong HR lineup. Not quite as convinced by France on that.
Yeah, it's interesting because normally I would think there would be quite a lot of overlap with being able to play a Hard Rock 1 and a Hard Rock 2, notably in Quells, but lots of teams who had a really solid Hard Rock 2 performance and not as great of a Hard Rock 1 and vice versa. I'm very surprised to see GODFIELD Gaming pick Fremod 2 because in my mind this was a France B pick, but they just go for it.
Yeah, yet again, kind of could see this working out similarly to Nomad 4, where it ends up being a very small score difference.
I mean, but this one, France had a great 3.2 million scoreline, and this is not an easy map to get a scoreline like that on, so this one is probably the most confusing pick for me so far. I don't know if it is something that GODFIELD Gaming do just feel extremely strong on, even, like they look at that performance and they're like, no, we can do better. Or if this is maybe like a challenge to themselves, I'm honestly not sure.
I would presume they just did not look at prior results. Like, I don't know. If you're picking this in to them, I feel like it's just, well, this is cool, this is good, let's pick it.
Yeah.
This is gonna work great. Yeah, no, pretty I mean, this is pretty much the worst pick they could have made on paper. We'll see how it works out. I mean, by no means is this so dominant in favor of France, though. I feel like no reason to think that this Japanese roster couldn't perform great.
100%. I think they'll have a good team for this. I think it's more so when you have picks like a DT2, which should be a lot more favored.
Yeah.
It's interesting to go for this stuff, but I mean, so far both teams, other than the early break from Varvalion on the Hard Rock, both teams looking good.
Yeah, as of right now, just the early break from Varvalion. Everyone else FCing.
It's already past the halfway mark. Surely nobody misses on the slow section. Oh, that was missable. 2 misses on each team. That's going to be Boa, 2 modded combos gone. Toter on the Hard Rock and Roll Pan on the Hidden. Musty going to break. It's now going to flicker. And Toter breaking again. Pretty much 3-2. As the density ramps up in this ending, the score lead is going to flicker. And Fie breaking is going to be brutal for France B. It's now only Araki on the Nomad FC up against 2 big combos on the side of GODFIELD Gaming. Varvalion does drop, but it's still Adeline up against Araki, but the score lead's already 200k.
I cannot believe Adeline aimed that wiggle pattern so cleanly on Tapix. What is wrong with this man?
Wait, did they actually wiggle it? Did they not just aim through the middle?
Yes, on Tapix.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's crazy.
I will, like, what?
Felt different.
If you, I mean, if you were just aiming normally, that's one thing, but I don't know. It just feels messed up to me.
With a 99.21% is really, that's a fantastic score on that map. But yeah, once again, a difference of 140k. I think if France B played it as well as they did last time, they would have won that. But it goes to GODFIELD Gaming, and now they're up 4-0 going into France B's third, and could be their final pick, depending on how these next 2 picks go. So if they're going to pick their strongest map, and they haven't already picked it, they should do that now.
I mean, I kind of feel like their secret weapon was kind of just picked into them, and they lost. So I don't know what you do from here on out. Just pick something cool, guys.
Pick something cool.
You know, a Nomad 5. It's a cool map.
Nomad 5 is a pretty cool map. DT3.
Honestly, it's not the worst either. I feel like it would be okay. That's
I mean, if you're gonna pick something, yeah, I mean it's a long road to travel now. I think Nomad 2 is an option. Yeah, I think I kind of like Nomad 2 here. I think I've yet to see Nomad 2 being picked in a match.
Yeah, Nomad 2, I suppose the hidden 1 result in qualifiers, kind of some overlap there between the 2 maps being tech streams.
What is happening, dude?
Yeah, I guess they picked tapping again.
Okay, that just fried my brain. That pick, I don't even know what's going on anymore. DT2 picked by France B. By far the biggest difference in their quality results was the DT2, where GODFIELD Gaming had an over million score advantage. Obviously different maps, but it almost feels like they're picking for each other.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh god. Well, they didn't do too bad on this in their previous match. They did pretty alright. They had 2.5 mil on it, but I mean, I kind of feel like this is a map where you're going to see GODFIELD press the 3 million mark.
Yeah, and
probably
it's
going to
also
need
rough.
a bit more.
It's rough because the biggest score on the side of France B was Musty's 900k, and that was a 93.81%
Oh yeah,
900k. So not a very comfortable 900k.
maybe not something you can rely on him to do every time. So yeah,
Mm.
a bit concerning. This I don't know. This kind of feels like the kind of pick where you've mentally cornered yourself into this. You're kind of stuck in a certain way of thinking.
Yeah, honestly, don't know. There's definitely a reality where the like managers or captains are just like, "Yep, we pick each other's maps."
Yeah.
Um, that makes the most sense to me than them actually picking DT2. But for the side of Godfield Gaming, we have Pop Art Town, Rukuyama, Adeline, and Varvalian. B Prod, Musty, Fie, and Rocky for France B. So probably going to be Godfield Gaming advantage, but you know, anything can happen. Maybe France warmer this time around. They did have pretty good accuracies on some of the other maps, so happy to see. So already 2 breaks from Godfield Gaming on the aim section, I think. And actually, judging off accuracies, France looking way more comfy, so could have been wrong this entire time. That break from B-Prod and Fie. It's not going to do favors of Rocky as well. It's now Musty FCing on 99%, so presumably his fingers are a lot more warm than last time. Up against Adeline, but he has 94%. Or Varvalian's recovery as well as Pop Art Town, those secondary combos are countering Musty's Kayak FC.
I don't know, strange set of circumstances, kind of still waiting for something to happen. GODFIELD not having looked great, but starting to recover, maybe settle into things here. Never mind, Odeline, Varvalian both go at the same time, and that is massive for France B. It's just Teachy with a supporting combo from Rikuyama now to big combo from Musty Araki, actually.
And
it's a little bit
Teachy
scary
is gone.
still.
And Musty
It is
losing a
all
little
Musty.
bit of act there, but he is crushing this map right now. Araki also on 700, matching Rukuyama. That scoreline is going to quickly move over to France B. And this is, yeah, I guess this is a situation where you can't exactly translate qualies to a normal map pool, because this is a pick I really imagine Godfield Gaming should have gone for the entire time, and so far it's going to be France B's first win.
I mean, it's just so much of this. Musty does eventually break. We will not be seeing the FC, unfortunately, but it is kind of Musty popping off and GODFIELD flopping is kind of what's happening. I mean, if you look at the full team performance here, I think that GODFIELD actually do look a bit more solid overall, but it's just the Musty score making the difference here.
Yeah, Musty popping off, getting much higher accuracy than the last play. And that's going to be their first point, but it does feel like GODFIELD could have performed better, but it's going to be the France veteran to close that pick out for them. So now, with France B having their first point on the board, it's going to be GODFIELD Gaming's third pick. You know, as we get deeper into this pool, I think you don't have as many super convincing picks, especially because a lot of the super convincing picks I feel like have already been played. Yeah, I wonder what GODFIELD wants to go for at this point.
Maybe a no mod 2. I don't know. I feel like that's something they'll pick rather than maybe what I want to see them pick. No mod 5 is actually funny. I was just earlier talking about maybe France B could pick this, maybe something to consider, but actually it's going to be Godfield to go into the gimmickier stuff. I don't know. I mean, these picks are still looking so weird to me. It just doesn't make much sense.
I guess No Mod 5 has maybe the most overlap with the Hidden 2, being a low-ish, it's AR9, not 8, but lowish AR reading map.
I guess. I feel like the
So,
patterns and
yeah.
everything play so differently.
100%. It's a completely different type of map, but there's probably a decent amount of overlap with players who'd be good on a Hidden 2 and also on the Summer 5.
Yeah. There's definitely something there, but I mean I didn't like the HD2 ban in the first place from France B, you know. So it's even then as a pick it's kind of questionable. Obviously again, like it's not the end of the world. It's Godfield ultimately is the team that's favored here on most every map, and that, you know, includes even the potentially more contested picks or contestable. It's but I think almost still favoring Godfield just out of carry potential and everything. Maybe FIA. FIA is like the big hope for France B on stuff like this, I would say.
Yeah, I'll
Popping off quite a bit lately, especially on like gimmickier stuff.
I do think France B 100% has the potential to breakpoint this map, especially with I think it was Rocky's performance on Fremont 2 with the high IFC. I think it was Rocky. I mean, yeah, so once again we have Araki, FIA, B-Prod, and Musty in for France B, and Pop Art Town, Fukuima, Adeline, and Varvalian for Japan. Actually wonder how many players have FC'd this map in... I know there was JGLF earlier on Team KFC, but
of course
this is out. Yeah, what a beast. I can't imagine there are that many players who'll be able to FC this. Araki does find the first break. So does Musty. So right now, France down 2 combos. 3 combos now with FIA dropping, and it is looking very convincing out this gate from Godfield Gaming. It's down 3-1. With B-Prod breaking, that's all of the FCs from France B gone, and just judging by some of the aim on France B, maybe not looking super comfortable on some of these gimmickier patterns. Fukuima and Varvalian still holding on, and at this point Pop Art and Adeline have recovered pretty nicely. This is just such a No Mod 5 type song. Godfield Gaming, this is maybe their most dominant pick yet. I don't
know, it's pretty surprising to me. It doesn't feel like it ought to be so dominant, but...
I mean, to be fair, I think this team performance is very... 2 FCs at this point with 2 very strong recoveries is a fantastic team performance, especially being one of the hardest skill sets to field, like a strong 4-4, especially when you only have 6 teams on your 6 players on your roster. And now it's only Musty on France B with any significant combo, but it's just... I just don't think he can do it alone. Oh, does everybody on Godfield Gaming hit that pattern? What is this team score?
And everyone on France missing. I mean, I think it's safe to say that France is simply out of contention on this.
100%.
Rima Tichi do break, but Adeline Varvalian still going. Varvalian is kind of going off.
On the FC, this is already done and dusted, but can Varvalian get the full combo? Especially with 98.5% on a rhythmic map like this, that is extremely impressive. Oh, finds the break. Fortunately, will not be getting a full combo. Especially because I feel like that was one of the last really missable parts. I think this ending, despite how it looks, is maybe one of the more comfortable parts of the map. Plays a little bit more generic. But Adeline still holding the 1000 combo now.
The Papex legend.
And a very, very convincing pick from GODFIELD Gaming, winning that pick by over 1 million team score. Very well done from them, and they will be winning this match 5-1 against France B, and I think that makes them 3-0 in their bracket. Because I think they had an FF and then they won the other match, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty sure that makes it 3-0.
So yeah, GG's. Congrats to GODFIELD Gaming for getting out of their group 3-0. I think OWC France B still has a match to play, if I'm not mistaken. So good luck to them. I think they had a lot of really solid performances there, so good luck in their match. Now, I do think we have another match starting in 14 minutes.
Yeah, Stream Squad versus Grease Monkey Deluxe, 14 UTC, and so in just a bit, 14 minutes, but we'll take a tiny little break and be right back.